Ladies and gentlemen, the long-awaited, highly anticipated return of Rick Garza, coach and, a man about town. Good family man and a soccer powerhouse to be reckoned with. Welcome, Rick. Happy New Year's to you and your family.
Happy New Year's to you as well. Thank you.
All right. So here it is. You came off just for the listeners and, including myself, is that you don't play and practice at Florissant Valley. That's at Merrimack, but you just went up to Florissant Valley to play in the regionals this past year.
So we play all of our home games. We get to play at Forest. We get to play at Flow Valley.
Okay.
But we practice at Merrimack.
Okay. Because it's not separate anymore. It's just called St. Louis Community College.
Correct. It's just one team, one men's team and one women's team for all the campuses.
And they kind of focus back and forth, or you?
Yeah, they use all the campuses. Like basketball uses Forest Park, baseball, softball, volleyball, soccer use Merrimack, but soccer plays their actual games. We use Flow Valley as our game field. We don't practice, so it's always a beautiful field. It's the most beautiful soccer field in St. Louis because it's still a grass field, and it's nostalgic. So we should have at least one more year there.
Beautiful, beautiful. And there was a tragic, it ended. Pete Sorber passed away, but he had his next two guy, that guy we call the guy, Matt McVeigh. Is he still with you?
Yes, of course, yeah. He's still here.
So he's joined with your hip now?
He was here when I got here, and
yeah.
He's gonna, go another 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. The Irishman just keeps on going, man. If you see him, wish him well for me.
I will.
Yeah. So all that goes on, and it's a really a cool thing. But you have it there, and we'll get back and talk about the portal and how the development, to college soccer. But you have an incredible training program to develop your skill level at this time, the winter training, and you're gonna open up the curtain for us to look backstage to see the upcoming summer league that you have. That is really, if you want to see soccer in the summer, this is the place to see it. I've been told.
Yeah, really excited about this project because it's been about a year in the making.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm going to tell you, this is called Bring Your Shovel, Rick. Don't rake me, man, but just shovel, dig deep. What do you got? Tell us.
Well, first, the winter program, the Moliga soccer training, it's a very small environment, less than maybe 24 kids. We usually have 4 trainers, and we split all those kids up. And it varies from, intermediate level all the way to advanced level, technical. And it's just technical training. The coaches all have played for me, and now they're trainers in this program, which I think is super special. Is every single trainer we have has either played college soccer for me or they played for Club Atletico Semi-Pro for me. And so it's this growing program of young players who now are becoming coaches themselves, and I'm blessed to get to mentor over that and develop them as coaches while making sure all of these kids are being developed in in a more smaller environment to develop them.
Did I catch you? You okay?
Yep. Yeah. And we train on Saturdays and all the way up until February 21st, and then the winter session will be over. And we don't have very many open spots. We do have a few between ages 5 to 8 and a few between 9 to 12, and only maybe 3 spots for U14 to U16 age left, because we do like to keep the numbers small, but we do have availability in that.
Yeah.
So
Coach,
that's our winter program. Yeah.
Did you
Moliga Teqball with a Q is our website.
Yeah, man. I would send me and I'll write it down, I promise. So the upshot of the whole situation is that you just don't come with a ball and a little bit of a plan. You really get into game situation of how you have to handle before the ball gets to you. Is the ball is coming? What do you do after you pass it and so forth, or dribble? I mean, it's really a on purpose, for a purpose, with a purpose.
Yes, you said it perfectly. And what's unique about it, you have your U16 players that are doing technical advanced with me on one side of the space, and then the next tier down, which is the kids that are about 2 years younger, are with the next coach. And then the next tier down are kids that are 4 years younger. And then the next tier are 5 and 6 year olds, and they're just 40 yards down the space. And so as a parent, you can kind of see that if your child's progression and development are consistently getting better, the end goal is to be able to do the things that I'm doing with the U16 kids. And that's a 10-year age gap. And so we have kids that are on all different club teams. We even have kids that are not doing club yet. We have a couple kids that, club is not worth the money they say for 5 and 6 and 7 year olds. So they actually just do Moliga because the kids enjoy small-sided games and technical, and it's cost-effective for the families to not put all that money, and they don't have another option right now. And that's a part of this, too, is just being able to have a space, not just for the super, super elite kid, but for all of the kids that are just like the game and want to be in a special, family-safe environment. And we treat the intermediate kids at 6 years old the same as the 16-year-olds, the U16 players. So it's just different levels, and you can see the drills are progressing, and it's a special thing. I'm glad that we do it. We've done it for a year now, and now we've graduated into the new project. This past summer, we ran leagues. We ran 5v5, 7v7 leagues in the summertime, and this summer, with the collaboration of my Club Atletico platform, we've now merged together, and we'll have a Club Atletico U16 league program playing in the Moliga 11v11 U16 league. So now we have college coaches that have always been a part of Moliga. Well, now in the summertime, you have all of our area college coaches a part of this program. They train the U16 players 2 times a week the way that they train their college team. So all I will do is say, hey, week 1, we are going to work on defense. That's we're going to work on that as the main theme. So everything you do in the next 2 days needs to be defensive oriented, and all 4 teams are getting a defensive oriented session the way that college coach would run their own team preparing for an upcoming game. And then on Friday, that coach coaches those kids in an actual game against another college coach. So week 2 now goes to more, let's go more possession game management orientation. And week 3 is all offense. And so there's themes to it. and it's applied by some of the highest level collegiate coaches in St. Louis, which also gives these kids a fast track to being in, the recruiting pool in a couple of years. And before they get into that recruiting year, which is U17, U18, they're already just getting this, a fast track advanced session with future college coaches that maybe will be looking at them down the road. And I think that's a unique thing about this as well.
Wow. You see the character building. The coaches get to see, man, that's so important. I read literature that coaches, they don't even really look at the game. They look how you walk up from your car onto how do you act around on the sidelines and your warm up. That tells the story. It tells the
Absolutely. I mean, this is 20 years of coaching and trying to get my own JUCO kids been recruited by certain coaches. And, I do have that experience of being the longest tenured junior college coach and having these relationships. And right now, the way that the recruiting world is with the portal, with NIL being a part of soccer recruiting now, with a lot of heavier international influence coming into the college game, Terry Mickler put out a really good graphic recently on Facebook. I seen about the funnels upside down. The MLS is getting less American. So the timing was right for us to decide as a family, we're going to stop the collegiate Club Atletico program for a couple years. We're going to reset on a new generation of player, which is U16. These are kids that are going to be freshmen and sophomores in high school. And what we're going to do, our goal with these 84 kids that we're gonna select and train this summer, our goal is to take those 84 kids. That's our funnel, right? We have 84 kids, and over the next 3 years, can we get a large percentage of these kids in different colleges by being a part of our program and being exposed to these college coaches? And here's the thing, the college coaches are all in. They're not necessarily just doing this like, okay, there might be a future recruit. They love the project, and the players may not end up at these colleges, but the college coaches are going to reference these kids to other programs they believe the kid can play. So what it does is it increases significantly the percentages of these kids playing college soccer if they choose to go that path, just by what you said, building relationships with these coaches over the next 3 years. These coaches are going to know them by name after this summer. And then next summer when they come back to do it all over again, the coaches will already remember them from the year before. So it's something that I think is special. Let's help more St. Louis area soccer players get an opportunity to play college, because the rest of the country is statistically getting more and more difficult to sign that letter of intent and continue playing college soccer these days.
Man, you've been good for a couple of years, but you're well certified in 2026 already. Way to go, Garza. Man, oh man, you're on fire, bro. You're on fire.
I hope it's just going to continue to build, and obviously I'm going to be coaching JUCO for a really long time, and I think my goal, right now my 2026 recruiting class, we have I think 14 kids from St. Louis, Missouri, and then we have maybe 13 of them from international. And we're about at that 50%, and that's a decent number these days in college soccer to be at 50% or less. And I hope over the years that number gets to 75% of quality players from St. Louis saying, I want to stay here in St. Louis and get an opportunity to develop. And I think the only way that that's really going to happen is if I'm already coaching some kids and just serving kids younger before they even get to high school to build those long-term relationships. And that's essentially what I'm doing, is helping the area coaches in the area see future players for St. Louis Community College, archers, And at the end of the day, we're making kids better and giving them a platform because, the other subject we could talk about, you have this MLS Next now that's a new machine, and parents are unsure, should my kid go play MLS Next? Should they do ECNL? Should they do NAL? Which league do I go to? And also you have the age is changing from birth year to grade year next year. And now parents have to deal with this again. So I'm like, it's enough that a lot of these kids were screwed whenever the portal was born. It messed up recruiting for high school kids. It's only getting harder. Now you have more platforms of confusion. You have age group of confusion. So let's let Moliga and Club Atletico come together and put a program together in the summertime to automatically give a platform of exposure to college coaches. No matter what club you're from, no matter what league you play in, you're guaranteed for 6 weeks to actually get your eyes on your kid and come play at a high level right here in St. Louis and represent Club Atletico for the future.
My jaw dropped. Wow, man. And let me step back. Hey, take it over, man. Bring the shovel. Tell us all about it, Ricky.
And you have so many other things growing. You have, the Champions League for high school that was born from nothing to now. It's an amazing platform, and it's a unique thing. And the more things that we can grow for the greater good in the St. Louis soccer community, the better for the next generations to come. And I think we're just doing our little piece in the summer. The reason why we're doing it just at U16 right now is because the U17, the junior, the senior, they're probably already in their recruiting cycle. And so this, they're already probably in there. So we wanted to kind of start early and hit the kids that aren't even there yet. These are 8th graders and freshmen currently. They're not even scratching the surface of college recruiting yet. And we can grow something from all the way at the infant and grow it the right way. So this is going to be some program, where next year, these U16 kids this summer, next year there'll be a U17. And then we'll have another U16 program. So hopefully we have 2 age groups next year. We'll have U16, U17 in the summer. And then the year after that, you have U18, U17, U16. So if you just keep adding U16 every year while the other kids are getting older, now we have a progression. And we'll have, 360 kids, in a couple years out there. And hopefully statistically the number's high of those kids going on and playing college somewhere in America.
Wow, man. So what do you, I'm going to stretch the imagination here and see, because you're a diplomat, you know how to handle this. Is there anything on the horizon that parents and our players ought to be watchful for, that is a stumbling, that you've been kind of fleeced, or the expectations are not there?
Some things that with college recruiting right now, when you're talking to college coaches, and a college coach right now these days can jump into a 4-year college coach, I should say, can jump into a portal and just look for a player. And the players now, unfortunately, they could go into a place and just jump their name in a hoop or in the portal and try to go play at a higher level or whatever. Well, so many kids that jump in that portal, they don't ever get picked up, and they're just done. And I think that's the problem we have now, is we've had this generation of kids that don't have to be committed. And unfortunately, I think we have the same generations where the coaches aren't sure how to handle it, and maybe they're not as committed to the players either. So you have this mess where, you're just a kid for a season, and then everything can be turned. Make sure when you talk to the coach that you might go, you think, oh, this guy's recruiting me or she's recruiting me. Ask this question. Say, coach, where do you see me playing in your system in year 1 or year 2? And how do you, the reason you're trying to bring me into this program, who do you see me playing behind? who do you see me replacing in a season or two? You know, who do you see me playing next to on the field? Ask specific questions to that coach. And if the coach can answer all of those fluidly, that means they've already thought through this. They know exactly where they're going to utilize you. And if they can't answer that fluidly, then maybe you're just deep down on the depth chart, you know, or maybe you're just another number that's coming in, because some programs have to recruit large numbers. And I think that's the best advice I could give kids and parents out there when they're getting this recruiting cycles and everything is, you know you're in the right place when the coach can map out where your son or daughter are going to actually play on the field and the progression to it. And myself at St. Louis Community College, that's what I do. I don't bring a kid in unless I have a solution of where to use that player. And I also keep my roster down low because I want everybody to play. And, you know, that's my best advice for my 20-year career is ask those questions. And if you feel confident that that coach has a plan for you, then it's the right place to be. And then go for it.
Wow. Man, oh man, you're amazing. You know, you could talk with the kings and queens, and then you can go slumming down with the whale, man. You make it all seem very precise and a road to extraordinary. That this is what it's about. Hey, man, when you get something, somebody talks to you about the way of, pardon, that the way of, you don't even have to go to college. We can, you know, you could just go through a plan, we'll take you over to Europe or something, or we do this or that. Should you be skeptical of a person? Has there been anybody who has foregone the college process? Because that seems like it's America, where you have something to fall back on. You have a degree to fall back on, or some skill level of education if the soccer doesn't work out. But is there a path? You know, because we just talked about it today, buddy. He was in his mother's basement, you know, working out. He's getting pretty old, and no league is asking him to come around.
You know, everyone has, you know, a path in life, and you know, if their heart is telling them this is right, and they have a support system around them that says, you know what, you know, college isn't for you, and this is what you want to do. You know, I just hope that before they get to that age, they've already sampled it at some point. You know what I mean? Like, you know, gone to some international camps, or, you know, done something to get a taste of it. But there's nothing wrong with, out of high school, giving it a shot, giving it, you know, a dream. Get set up with some trials. There's nothing wrong with that, I don't think. But it's just kind of unlikely to just play 4 years high school, 4 years club, and just go and jump in a pro environment. But I would never say it's not an option. You know, there's a lot of determined people that will take an inch and turn that into a mile. So
Yeah.
it's if you have an opportunity, a calling, somebody's giving you an opportunity, do it while you're young. You can always come back to college, right? And
Okay.
you know, college education isn't the end all be all either, to be honest. I mean, the trades are an under
Yeah.
you know, there could be so many opportunities in the trades right now, with AI coming along, and they need more electricians now. They need you know, more engineers, more HVAC, just to put all the AI centers together. You know, it's just follow your passion, whatever it is, and, you know, just keep moving forward.
Yes.
Don't ever get discouraged, because every door that's shut is an opportunity to rebuild and be stronger. And every no, you know, can make you stronger if you don't let it hurt you and don't let it stop you.
Right on, Rick.
You know, having adversity just makes the dream more special if you can push yourself through it, so that when you achieve it, you have a great story and you've already lived a great life, and then you can share that with your next generation.
Yeah.
And try to inspire others. So,
And,
I don't think there's a lot of people who just get 10 yeses in a row and it's just success after success after success. You got to grind it out.
right on, man. And that's why the people that I know, that know you and I know you, is amazed by you, because you are 12 months of the year, man. You're putting in the work 52 weeks a year. I mean, that's you see it, and there's always something new and a ring, an edge, something that's very, very nice to look at you if you weren't you. I hope you get a good reflection in the mirror.
I'm just trying to bring value to the community, and the kids that I coach, club kids or Moliga kids, once they're in my circle, I just keep trying to build something for them as they get older. And it's just, and then I'm always a guy that doesn't keep the door shut. It's if I create something, it's always going to be open for everyone.
Yeah.
And then that's just my philosophy has always been that way.
Well, someday you'll be old man Garza.
I think I already am. Yeah, 4 kids later. I feel it a little bit.
All right. So here it is, custom at Whale Certified, to say, hey, Rick, whatever you want to say to who you ever want to say it to, for as long as you want to say it for.
Yeah, no, I just, this is my 3rd time coming on, and I think the first time I said something to my son, being more into the relationship with the Lord, and then the second time I came on, I think Mueller, who connected me with the Pink Ladies in Jennings that helped heal my daughter. I just want to thank the Lord Jesus for just continuing to give us a life to get to what we went through with Esri, and now Esri's to have Christmas, and she wasn't hooked up to feeding tubes and machines, and she's putting sentences together, and I get to just coach soccer. I'm here at Lou Fuse Field 7, watching my son carry all my gear on the field because I'm on this interview, and I could be doing a lot of other things, and I'm lucky enough to just coach kids, coach all ages, coach college, and provide for my family, and I just thank the Lord.
Well, you always have an open door here at Whale Certified. If I didn't touch everything, let's have a do-over. But I want to thank you so very much, and I would be amiss if I didn't correct. My buddy's name is Ed Miller, and the Pink Sisters down on Highway 55 in Adelaide. Highway 70 in Adelaide. But the Pink Sisters, and they still talk about you, man, and your wonderful daughter. You all made quite an impression on them.
It was amazing. It was amazing, and it still is.
Yes,
and now it's become a ripple effect of everyone that asks about her and everything. It always goes back to the Pink Sisters, the Pink Ladies, and Jesus. So it's again, Esri, before she could really put sentences together, potentially has been making disciples of Christ, which is amazing.
Wow, man. Wow, I got goosebumps, man. All right, then. Tell your son thanks a lot for being a part of the Whale Certified, and he's Whale Certified for the day. He's too young, but he's got his Whale certification for the day. And thank you, and anytime and all the time, right, Coach?
All right, thank you so much, Kevin.
All right, now, bye-bye, Rick.
Bye.